We also had some other type of drama on the conservative side. We had drama between Candace Owens and Ben Shapiro. Let's take a look at a couple of clips.
Well, I am here today to endorse Nikki Haley for president of Israel. I think she's earned that. I think Bibi Netanyahu is going through a very bad time right now. Support for Israel has virtually collapsed socially. If you're paying attention to the trends and you're paying attention to what people are watching, you're paying attention to the protests. And the one person that I think is capable of getting it back is Nikki Haley, with enough money from foreign interest lobbies. So there it is, guys. I'm endorsing Nikki Haley, president of Israel.
Yes, the question was about Candace Owens. I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt, I think it's yeah, I mean, she still works for my company. I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find them disreputable.
There are a lot of people in America that are sitting here going, okay, well, can you answer why Jews are so special? Because as white people in this country on university campuses, we are being taught that we are not allowed to have a voice. We have had to endure exactly what you're talking about, BLM. We've endured much worse than you have because it's in the actual textbooks. We are being told that we are systematically racist, that we are born wrong because of the color of our skin. And if we say anything, we'll lose everything. This is the typical experience on white campuses. So people, this is not whataboutism. This is like actually what we have been fighting for years. So it sort of arrived as, I think, for a lot of Americans, a surprise when they're saying, well, now that it's about Israel, which is something that's overseas, we need to, hand these university professors, we need to do something about this issue. Why weren't we trying to correct course on this issue? Why weren't donors pulling their funding out of these universities? Why weren't these same things being said for these last, I would say, 8 years of rampant BLM, white man can't do anything right, actively being taught in the classrooms? So there are people that are asking that question now. What I have said is that explicit calls for genocide, which was stunning to me to see that in Congress, are completely wrong. It is frankly crazy. I have not weighed in on the IDF's response in the same way that I have consistently said through every war, Ukraine and Russia, I don't want to be involved. I have said I don't want to be involved in Israel and Palestine, all these conflicts. My consistency seems to offend people, right? But I haven't made a single tweet or a single comment on IDF's response in Palestine. I haven't said a single thing about that. I have said it is always sad when a child dies. And the lack of humanity that I have seen from both sides has been very troubling for me. But to say that I have to weigh in and suddenly wave an Israeli flag and say things that, because you decide that you get to use my platform because it's personal to you, how is that fair to people? How is that fair? And then to go a step further and to suggest that it might be anti-Semitic, which is basically silence is violence, as a leftist tactic, to me feels very extreme.
Okay, so what the hell is going on here? Well, what's going on is Ben Shapiro is emoting. Candace is saying the exact same thing I've been saying this entire time, that the Israeli-Hamas thing's been going on, and even the Ukraine-Russia thing's been going on. My point on this whole thing was put America first. I'm not trying to take sides. I'm not going to be putting a Ukraine flag on my bio. I'm not going to be saying F Russia, I love Ukraine, they're the greatest democracy ever. And I'm not going to do it now with Israel and Hamas. Ever since October 7th, ever since Hamas attacked Israel, killed about 1,500 Israelis and kidnapped a lot of American, French, and other dual citizens from Israel, took them back to Gaza. Ever since that happened, Ben Shapiro has been emoting on the show. This guy has been talking all types of trash, justifying everything that the Israelis are doing. If they're dropping airstrikes and little kids are dying, hey, it's probably a problem. Collateral damage. He's saying, y'all didn't question any other war. When the Americans went over to Europe in World War II and all those innocent civilians died, y'all didn't say anything. When the Americans went to Afghanistan, killed over 1 million people, Afghanistan and Iraq, all those innocent civilians died. And in Vietnam, over 1 million civilians died over there in Vietnam. Y'all didn't complain then. So why are y'all complaining that Israel is dropping bombs on little kids in Gaza? Ridiculous. You talk about the guy who was saying facts don't care about your feelings. I don't know what happened. In this particular case, the man is falling off a cliff. So Candace is saying America first, and in this particular case, I'm on her side. America first. We Americans got our own problems. Like I've been saying about Ukraine and Russia. We don't give a damn about Israel. We don't give a damn about Palestine. We don't give a damn about Ukraine. We got our own problems to deal with. We don't have the energy, the resources, and the capacity to be taking care of the whole world. So the thing about Israel, though, is because all these Zionists in America and all this Jewish money going on in America, if you say anything, if you question anything about Israel's actions in this war in the Gaza Strip, if you question anything, if you just ask a simple question, they'll call you an anti-Semite. How dare you question it? If they drop a bomb and they say, "What was there a little kid over there?" Hey, are you an anti-Semite? Are you questioning what Israel's done? Hey, maybe they killed 1,000 kids over there, but why are you asking questions? Are you an anti-Semite? Are you a Jew hater? So they're using leftist tactics. Ben Shapiro is using leftist tactics to combat people who ask questions. Candace Owens was simply asking questions and saying, look, we're not taking sides in this. We need to be America first. We need to handle our own business at home. And she's also calling them out. Where's the energy? In any other situation, we don't have all this emoting, but when it comes to Israel, all of a sudden, you all in your feelings. Facts don't care about your feelings goes out of the window. Asking a simple question, I guess she's disgraceful. Ben Shapiro called her disgraceful. I mean, she was completely out of line with that. And things got even nastier on Twitter. So we're going to look at a few Twitter posts. The first one is Candace. She's quoting a Bible verse. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. No one can serve two masters. Either you will hate the one and love the other, or you will be devoted to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both God and money. Okay, now let's go back and look at Ben responding to this. So Ben says, Candace, if you feel that taking money from the Daily Wire somehow comes between you and God, by all means quit. Ben Shapiro just told Candace to get the hell out. So it looks like he took great offense to this. First of all, Ben and Candace, they got into it before over Israel because Ben was mad over Candace being close to Kanye West. Kanye West publicly said all types of things about Netanyahu and Israel, even though people in Israel don't even like Netanyahu. But Ben was pissed off about Candace having a close relationship, even hosting Kanye West, giving him a platform. This was months ago. And now he sees that she's not feeling the same way. She's not emoting the way he is. So if you've been listening to Ben over the last month or so, you'll realize that if you're not for all-out war, completely crushing men, women, and children in Gaza, if you're not completely okay with everything that Israel's doing, you're an anti-Semite. You're against his value system. You're an evil, unrighteous person. Just listen to the man. Go back and listen to his podcast. And you will see how idiotic this man sounds on this particular issue because he's very emotional about it. So let's see what Candace had to say in response. She said, you've been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now. I had the exact same thoughts. I mean, it came to the point where it's unwatchable. Every day his show has been devoted to Israel defeating Hamas, and if you disagree, then you're an anti-Semite, no matter what Israel does. You've been acting unprofessional and emotionally unhinged for weeks now, and we have all had to sit back and allow it, and have all tried to exercise exceeding understanding for your raw emotion. But you cross a certain line when you come for scripture and read yourself into it. I would not tolerate it. So there's a lot of debate saying, well, she was taking a shot at Ben when she did that. So people saying Ben Shapiro is arrogant as hell because he's putting himself into Bible verses. And there are even people showing Ben's history of being extremely anti-Christian, but that's going down a rabbit hole. The bottom line is, in this particular case, Ben is out of line. And yeah, you could feel a certain way because you have a dual citizenship with Israel because you're a Jew. You have a right to your opinion, but that doesn't mean you need to come for others. and demand that others feel the same way that you do. That doesn't mean that we need to agree that we need to spend taxpayer resources and maybe even shed American blood for Israel, even though they claim that Israel doesn't need America. America needs Israel. America is Israel's greatest ally, even though Israel hasn't helped America with a goddamn thing when it comes to America's wars. They haven't offered a single soldier after the 9/11 attack. No Israeli soldiers were over there helping and against the Taliban and Al Qaeda. But for some reason, even though I see Israel as America's puppet or America's pet, or really, Israel is just a glorified American military base for a frontal assault against the Middle East. That's how Israel is. That's how I see it. These people, these Zionists, they claim that Israel is the greatest thing ever and America needs Israel. But that's also going down the rabbit hole. Ben was wrong on the vaccine issue because he heavily promoted it. Ben was wrong against Trump because to this day, he has Trump derangement syndrome. He's very anti-Trump. And he has to kind of sit there and take it and accept the fact that the vast majority of the Republican Party supports Trump. And when it comes to this whole Ukraine thing, and I mentioned this before, Ben Shapiro regurgitated something that Mitt Romney said, which made both of them sound like complete dumbasses, talking about we've only spent 5% of our budget. We've made a great investment in Ukraine. Russia is defeated. We've worn down Russia's military and they're destroyed. First of all, the sanctions didn't work. All these billions of dollars that the United States spent against Russia and Ukraine didn't work. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. It was a horrible investment. On top of that, 500,000 Ukrainian men are dead. But it's a good investment. So some of the biggest issues that we've dealt with, Ben Shapiro was on the wrong side of it. So let's take a look at Candace Owens on Tucker Carlson's show.
So maybe there's a point in the video where he explains what exactly you did wrong and how you were wrong. I haven't seen it. But to call somebody, quote, absolutely disgraceful, particularly a coworker, seems like a pretty big step. What? And I really don't know the background here. What is that about?
You know, there isn't much of a background. I saw the video when everybody else saw it when I woke up.
No one warned you about it.
Nobody warned me about it. It looks like maybe he didn't know he was being recorded. It looks
Yes.
like it was some sort of a private event. I got no clarity on the issue that he was particularly speaking on. And in what was said, I can't respond to it beyond what he's saying because it's just ad hominem attacks. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's not, we disagree, or
Yeah.
I don't think she's correct, or maybe she doesn't know what she's talking about. It's absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, exactly. And so I can't respond to it on a level of intellect because there's nothing that he has expressed in that, at least in that short clip, that he fundamentally disagrees with in terms of what I said. But I will say that I'm not going to respond with the same ad hominem attacks.
Yes.
I don't think it helps further discussion. And if that was me that was caught on a video saying that about colleagues that I work with, I would be embarrassed. So I think that the video speaks more to Ben's character than it speaks to mine.
Has he texted you to apologize or explain or anything?
No, nothing. I haven't heard a single word. It just was sort of something that he said. And you know what? Ben and I have many disagreements, so I don't think that that's particularly something that's interesting. We disagreed on the COVID vaccine. We disagree on Ukraine and Russia. He has taken virtually every stance that has been the opposite of mine on every issue over the last 5 years. So I don't think that that's
On the
particularly
COVID
remarkable.
vaccine. Really, I didn't remember that.
Yeah, he was pro the COVID vaccine. I was anti the vaccine. You know, we were all idiots for not getting the vaccine. So that's totally fine. I am totally open to people having a difference in opinion.
Right.
I would hope that amongst colleagues that it would always be a civil disagreement. And I would never in a private event stand on a table and talk badly about Ben.
It's just it's a little weird. So he was on the left on those three biggest issues of our time, is what you're saying?
He has converted his opinions. He's accepted responsibility. He said, I was wrong about the vaccine.
Oh, good. Good for him.
He is, obviously pro pharma. His mom's a doctor. And I say to people, I'm very aware of my perspectives on big pharma, and I talk about it on my show openly. And I think that that's a tremendous credit to the Daily Wire that they allow a difference of opinions. But I as I said, hope that it would remain respectful and that you wouldn't throw your colleagues under a bus, so to speak.
I think
in a private setting.
I think that's fair. And just for clarity, because I really don't know, is he your boss? Does he?
I think there's a lot of misunderstanding about Ben's involvement. He's not the CEO of the Daily Wire. He is not making the day-to-day decisions of the Daily Wire. And I do want to make it very clear because people are like, how could you possibly stay at Daily Wire after this? I have a very good relationship with the co-CEOs of the Daily Wire. Especially right now, the acting CEO is Caleb Robinson. He's a wonderful person. He's worked very hard to be where he's at. We have a lot in common that we connect on. And so people don't get to see that, which is unfortunate. Ben lives in Florida. He's not a part of the day-to-day movements of the Daily Wire. The rest of the hosts have their shows situated in Nashville. So we see each other every day. We talk. There's great camaraderie. Yes. And there's actually more agreement. There's actually a lot of people that are, as I describe myself, just pro-America first. And I think I've been that way consistently throughout my political career. Whether people agree with it or not in different moments is up for debate. But I don't want that video to become a reflection of how the Daily Wire works and the Daily Wire operates, because I have had a very good experience with the CEOs, and love Michael Knowles, love Matt Walsh, Andrew Klavan. We all get along really great.
This all should have been handled privately. So Ben openly attacked her, and you see she's explaining to herself. She's being consistent in her position. She's not throwing mud back at Ben. So she's handled it professionally. Ben was very unprofessional. So what they need to do now, they work for the same damn company. Ben's part owner of the company. Get together, have a conversation about it. Have some understanding about it. And Ben, maybe he needs to take a damn vacation, because, like I said, it's been over a month and he's been completely emoting, having a meltdown. And I've never seen this man like that. I had a lot of respect for him, because even though he's been wrong on critical issues like Trump and the COVID-19 vaccine and even the origins, in other cases, he's very smart and a very good communicator, gets points across, and he does really well combating the left. But he and Candace need to just chill. I know she was just responding to him, but just stop talking about it publicly, have a conversation about it. Or even if you want to be public with it, he can go on her show, she can go on his show, let all the viewers see it, hash things out together right there face to face, talk about your issues without personal attacks and everything. And realize everybody's not going to agree with you on this issue. Just because people don't say, let's just carpet bomb Hamas, let's not give a damn about the children, that doesn't mean people are anti-Semites. Just because people don't want to send infinite money to Israel, send American resources to Israel, doesn't mean they're anti-Semites. That means we care about our own country, have our own issues. If Israel is so great and powerful, let them stand on their own. Why the hell do American taxpayers need to keep sending money over there? Are the Israelis going to pay back the favor? Are they going to send money back? If we're sending money to Israel, it needs to be on loans, really. Because all these Zionists have all this money. Israel is so great. America needs Israel. Okay, you want the $14 billion plus the $4 billion a year you've been getting for decades. Take it as a loan. How about we give you that $14 billion on credit? Give it back to us. In fact, give it back to us with interest. How about that? But all of you Zionists, all of you pro-Israeli people, just realize, just because there are Americans, I'm not talking about the people openly supporting Palestine terrorists, openly supporting Hamas and said death to Israel. No, just the normal, regular, common sense Americans. Just because they're not being all gun-ho and following warmonger rhetoric, just because they're not doing that, doesn't mean that they're against Israel. I'm trying to tell you, most Americans don't give a damn about what's going on outside of American borders. There are problems all over. We got problems going on in Africa, warlords, people killing. We got wars going on over there. Why aren't you emoting about that? We got drug lords and cartels and all kinds of violence, sex trafficking, everything going on in Latin America. Are you going to emote about that? We got issues everywhere in the world. The United States of America, the American taxpayers, do not have the burden of fixing the entire planet. The American taxpayers care about what's going on in their own lives. So you're a dual citizen of Israel. You care about the Zionist cause. You can't condemn and call people disgraceful because they don't agree with everything that you're saying or everything that the Israeli government wants to do. America first.